Oh, here we go again on a Sunday. It's Shark-a-doodle-doo, you guys, the Clark the Shark Show, the most amazing musical, political, biological, concrete talk radio show in America today on the airwaves. Shark-a-lama ding-dong, baby, that's me, Clark the Shark from the golden EIB Sharkraphone, right here on the Sharky Show, people. It's not a microphone. It's a gold, not gold plated. It's a golden EIB. Excellence in shark casting, not broadcasting, network. Sharkraphone, not a microphone. Don't ever call it a microphone. It's a sharkraphone. It's like Willy Wonka. He has the Wonkavator. Don't call it an elevator, people. You saw what Willy Wonka what he did to Augustus Gloop and Veruca Salt and all those bad little kids, bad little boys and girls. You don't want to end up like that, because here on the Sharky Show, you could. If you offend or in any way anger me, my name is Talking Sharky. I'm kind of like that doll on the Twilight Zone, and you better be nice to me. That's right, Shark-a-doodle-doo, 1-800-449-8255 from the fabulous, amazing, unbelievable, triggered Sharkraphone. I'm going to talk about the Beatles. And this is a controversial album by the Fab Four, kinda, back in the day, where people said the Beatles were slipping here a little bit. They put out Sgt. Pepper, which was amazing, and Revolver before it, which people call amazing also, but me, Clark the Shark, I don't know. Revolver, I'm kind of torn. It's no Rubber Soul, people. It's interesting. It's neato. It's the Beatles were throwing stuff at the wall, kind of like the Rolling Stones, and seeing what sticks. But to me, Clark the Shark, I find problems, problematicisms with both Revolver and Sgt. Pepper. But what's weird about me, Clark the Shark, is I really like this record, Tragical History Tour by Ron Nasty and the RUTLES. Of course, Dirk McQuigley too, you guys, Stig O'Hara. By this time, Paul was dead or Stig was dead. Somebody was dead, and there was all these symbols and logos and hidden meanings in the albums. And, the guy was in a coffin. If you turn it sideways, it looks like he's in a coffin, or, there's a hand over his head, or I don't know, you guys. I just think it's like the culture of death beginning, back in the 60s with the liberals or whatever they were. Negativity, Satanism, mysticism, the hippie acid, marijuana, drug, mushroom shit, dude, back in 67. It was prevalent. And the RUTLES fell in with this, because they, of course, tried LSD. Ron was on an elevator, and there was just a little red light, and the whole elevator was on fire. There was just four of us. And we were on acid, and the elevator was on fire. Sometimes I'm like, I'd love to be hanging out with the four RUTLES back in 67 on the elevator that's on fire. I don't know, you guys. I stay away from drugs for the most part. Just sleeping pills, Tylenol, and coffee, Black Folgers, 2 scoops. That's about my limit, you guys, with drugs. I mean, it's all I can do right here on the Clark the Shark Show. But had I been back in 1967 in the psychedelic heyday, I too, Clark the Shark, might have participated in weirdness like Tragical History Tour by the RUTLES. I like this album, you guys. I don't know why I do. Now, there's two versions. This version here was the one over in England. Me, Clark the Shark, of course, I grew up in Redondo Beach, Torrance, Los Angeles County, back in the day, in the weird 1970s, late 60s, 80s. Just people were weird. Trust me, you guys, really, really weird people in Torrance. A lot of people in Torrance come from Missouri, Ohio, Kansas, Pennsylvania, and then they come to Torrance and Redondo, and it's like the Who, Tommy. I'm going to keep it a family show, you guys, but let's just say bad things were happening to children in Torrance, probably more than other cities in America. Maybe not, sadly. I don't know. But a good thing that happened to me, Clark the Shark, was the RUTLES Tragical History Tour, and Ron Nasty and Dirk McQuickley. Oh, bloody hell, Clark. I know you love me album here. You're not going to criticize it like you do me others. I'm like, Paul, Dirk, whatever your name is, I'll criticize you, I just might. It doesn't matter to me. But, sometimes. But on this album, you guys, now I don't know this album here, Magical Mystery Tour, the EP over in England, with only 2 songs on each side. Us in America, we've never even seen this, you guys. I don't think I've ever even seen one of these around Torrance or Redondo. I looked for it at the Rhodium or Go Boy Records or Zed Records or Peanut Records or Alternative Groove Records back in the 90s or wherever, some record store up in Hollywood or San Pedro. I could not find this version of the Beatles Magical Mystery Tour, with Ron and the lads. This one looks cool. I love this fucking cover, you guys. Fuck, dude. I would have loved to have owned this. I wonder if you can even buy. I mean, dude, you talk about something that's valuable today. If you got one of these from England, still in its plastic today, somewhere, dude, it's fucking worth a lot. Let me tell you, right here on the Clark the Shark Show, 1-800-449-8255 from the fabulous golden EIB Sharkerphone. I'm talking about an album in between the White Album, 1968, and Sgt. Pepper, 1967. Both incredible albums, both albums with problems. I mean, the White Album, to me, kind of like the Beatles' Exile on Main Street. It's really awesome and great, but then it's got, you're like listening and like, what the fuck is this? At the same time. But, yeah, you guys. Oh, look at these geniuses. The RUTLES, Ron, Stig, Dirk, and John. You could tell this is from 1967, this picture. It's not from the White Album, and it's not from Revolver. This is the RUTLES, you guys, in between, in a mystical, magical, psychedelic time when things were weird. Everything was weird. I mean, look at these 4 characters. They look focused yet confused, firm yet tenuous or something. I don't know. Like they could just break up, or maybe they're solid, or their new album's going to suck, or it's going to be amazing, incredible, or something. They're just off kilter, helter skelter, before helter skelter, or some fucking shit. I don't know. Right here on the Clark the Shark Show, they were all over here worshiping this guy. They should have been worshiping the Lord, like Jesus, but they're like, no, that's judgmental. We'd rather worship this guy who never says anything, the Maharishi. And they went over to India, and yeah, now I'm a little Ringo talk. We went over and he was just hitting on our birds. And John's like, yeah, I had Sin with me, my wife, and the Maharishi was going for Jane Asher and Sin. He wasn't very interested in the Ruttles or the Beatles or whatever we're called. And I'm like, John, you bring a bunch of birds over to India. That's like bringing them around Clock the Shark. Of course, the Maharishi, he might go for your birds. Who knows, Ron? But I don't really care what the stars say. Look at these geniuses. And Paul is wearing a black carnation. You see, the other three, they have a red one, but not Dirk. He's got a black one because he's going to die. You see the picture, there's a meaning. They're like, praise Satan and worship the Ruttles' satanic majesty's request. We all got a red carnation on. Look at us, the three, but this one's going to die. It's a black one. Dirk. I thought it was Stig that died. George, I don't know. It gets all 5 stars. And, the critics back in 1967, they hated this movie, the Tragical History Tour, you guys. They hated the album, both in America and England. I think this was the first Ruttles album to get a bad review in America. George, I don't know. But you guys, they fucking hated, believe me. After Sgt. Pepper, the Beatles set a high bar. I mean, at least in the world of critics. And every album after that had to be as good as Pepper. And this one certainly wasn't. At least that's what the critics said, you guys. Me, Clark the Shark, I believe Tragical History Tour or Magical Mystery Tour, whatever it is, I believe it's just as good because the songwriting is amazing. People are like, no, Sharky, that's fucking no, dude. You don't know what you don't bloody know what you're talking about. That's a rubbish album. Even John will be like, that album is rubbish, Sharky. But I'm like, John, Ron, whatever your name is, I love it. Me, Clark the Shark. The double EP, you guys, look at how weird this was. Side 1 back in England, I've never seen this album. With Your Mother Should Know, that far up. Track 2 on side 1. Double EP extended play. How weird, you guys. I've never seen this album. I Am the Waitress is number 2. Side 2 takes up, these are like double 45s or not even an EP, you guys. I don't know what the fuck this was. The Fool on the Hill and Flying are side 3 with Blue Jay Way as side 4. I mean, dude, this album sucks. Let me tell you. They don't have the best songs here on this England, UK, British double EP or whatever the fuck it is, dude. It's valuable. If it's in the plastic wrapper, you guys, fuck, dude. If you got this album over in England or in America or India or whatever you are, it's worth a lot. But the album sucks, dude. The fucking album is shit. It's still better than the Rolling Stones' Hackney Diamonds, though. I'll fucking give it that. Right here on the Clark the Shark Show, 1-800-449-8255, the Wolfman Jack on crack. The smoothest delivery, the most amazing focus. That's Clark the Shark, you guys. LP, side 1. I think this was the same as America. I'm not sure. But, dude. Mick Taylor is on this somewhere, It's like, just like, what? How did this thing sell 6 million, you guys? 6 million? It's like fucking selling like it's Zeppelin or some shit, Dude. But I'll tell you why right now, you guys. Why it sold 6 million if it really did sell 6 million. I doubt it did, you guys. I mean, this double EP is a piece of shit. This fucking thing shouldn't have sold 50,000 over in England. I mean, what are they doing releasing? They should have just released the right fucking thing. But side 1. Now, this, I think, is the album that I know in America. Now, of course, the very first song, Magical Mystery Tour, is awesome, you guys. Incredible. The Fool on the Hill, kind of a letdown for me. It's a Dirk McQuickley song. And, come on, I have to like it. It's the Ruttles and all. But Flying is a piece of shit. I fucking hate that song. And I hate Blue Jay Way or Blue Gay Way or whatever the fuck it's called. Ron is like, it's about, so, it's about how Stig is dead. I'm like, dude, is Stig or Dirk is dead? I mean, this whole band needs to die. They need to die. Because this album sucks. But no, you guys, Magical Mystery Tour, I love that song. The Fool on the Hill, it's good enough, I guess. Flying is kind of interesting. Blue Gay Way, I guess, is all right, But Your Mother Should Know sucks. I fucking hate that song. Dirk McQuickley, of course, writes the 3 fucking lame songs on side 1, you guys. I wish the RUTLES just would have fucking kicked him out of the band. I wish he really did die in a car wreck in 1966 or Stig died. Or one of them died. I don't know. But I know Brian Wilson didn't die, but Brian Epstein, he did die, I think. I mean, maybe the RUTLES or the Beatles should have been making fun of Brian Epstein because he died. I don't fucking know, you guys. But I Am the Walrus, one of the greatest songs in the history of rock and roll, saves this whole album. And for that song alone, this album is like almost an amazing psychedelic classic. And you end up liking these other songs because of I Am the Walrus by Ron Nasty, one of his greatest works. Before he was popped off by that loony, Mark David Chapman, he wrote an incredible one here. 1967, you guys, in the summer of love. I Am the Waitress. Fucking amazing song, you guys. By John Nasty, right before he met Yoko. He wrote an incredible one here, you guys. I Am the Walrus, Waitress, whatever. I think he already knew Yoko, you guys, from 1966. A little side note here. Me, Clark the Shark, I love Cynthia Lennon. What a great lady. What a great gal. And Dirk McQuickley's like, oh, yeah, John needed a lady who was with it, it's strong. His mother was strong and his auntie was strong, And he doesn't want to just kick off his shoes, John, it's not John and Yoko. They want to go out in the street and have bed peace and be in a bed or in a shower getting wet for peace or at a rally out at a demonstration. Dude, fuck, what's wrong with Cynthia? She's a British girl. She had your baby, John, you fucking douchebag. She had Julian. Hey, Jules. A little side note here from Paul or Dirk. Hey, Jude is about Julian. Yeah, dude, it is, you guys. It's true. But before that, 1967, I Am the Waitress, Walrus by Ron Nasty. One of the greatest songs in the history of rock and roll fucking music, you guys. So there's 2 great songs on side 1 that I, Clark the Shark, remember from the South Bay, Torrance, Redondo Beach, riding around on a Strand Cruiser with a Walkman. You remember those with the headphones? I had to listen to Magical Mystery Tour or Tragical History Tour by, SEWER, Tragical History SEWER by Ron Nasty and me headphones on a Walkman. I had to listen to it, you guys, because I fucking love that song and I love I Am the fucking Walrus by John Lennon. What a fucking genius, you guys. Amazing song. Because of those 2 songs, the bookends on side 1, I love the album. I'm not so wild about these 4 songs in the middle, especially Dirk McQuickley, The Fool on the Hill. Fuck that song, dude, and Flying and Blue Gay Way. Fuck that. I hate Your Mother Should Know, dude. They should have kept that off the album. But because of I Am the Walrus or the Waitress and Tragical History SEWER, I love side 1, you guys. 2 great songs. Incredible. Not as good as Sgt. Pepper. Although Sgt. Pepper is problematic but genius. It's great but inconsistent. There's something wrong with it, just like Revolver, Rutvolver, or Semi-Automatic, whatever it's called, from 1966. It's because Dirk McQuickley, you guys, he's on the fucking albums fucking it up with shitty songs. And then what's weird is once in a while, Dirk will write a fucking killer great song like Helter Skelter or Let It Rot or something like that. And you're just confused. You're like, how is fucking Dirk writing a good song when usually he fucking sucks? At 1-800-449-8255. That's right, Eddie. Look at me, baby. I'm on a real fucking roll now, Eddie, on the Clark the Shark show. You got to fucking keep up with my shit, bro. Hello, goodbye. It's a piece of shit by Dirk McQuickley. I don't like that song. Even though I always listen to it and I'm always singing along with that piece of shit, side 2. You know, but of course, Strawberry Fields Forever. Amazing. This is Dirk, and I'm going to tell you Strawberry Fields Forever by Ron. Incredible. And I'm like, Dirk, fuck, dude. I fucking agree. Strawberry Fields Forever and I Am the Waitress. 2 of the fucking greatest songs in the history of rock and roll on one album, dude. And of course, Penny Lane by Dirk. Another song that I hate and yet is really good. How it tells the story. It's like, you know, double back alley takes me back. I love it, dude. Penny Lane. I love the girl in that movie, Penny Lane, the prostitute who hangs out with Stillwater in the band, you know, backstage, or the groupies. Don't ever call her a groupie. She's a Band-Aid. Penny Lane, Eddie. Penny Lane, dude. I hate the song, but it's classic. I'm stuck like all, you know, dude. I have to accept Penny Lane. Not on the level of I Am the Waitress or Strawberry Fields Forever. No fucking way. Those are John Lennon classics. But there's something to be said about Penny Lane. It's interesting. 1967, you know, the wild and wacky psychedelia, where people were just dropping this thing that looked like a rope under a magnoscope or under a microscope or a magnifying glass. It looked like a rope, and I was putting it in my brain. And one day I said, I don't want to put a rope in my brain, but maybe I should if it's going to bring me something like Strawberry Fields Forever. Yeah, you put a little rope in your brain, Klaus or Sharky, whatever your name is. You know, if you're going to write a song like Strawberry Fields Forever, you're going to need this thing under a magnifying glass or under a microscope. It looks like rope. That's what people would say, you guys. LSD, lysergic acid, looked like rope. And George is like, hey, it looked like rope. Dude, it does. Look at it under a microscope. LSD looks like rope. You're putting rope in your brain, dude, when you take fucking drop acid, dude. And Baby, You're a Rich Man, I don't really like that song, you know, a John Lennon tune, but because it's making fun of Brian Epstein or maybe Brian Wilson, I don't know. But the song is Baby, You're a Rich Man, Baby, You're a Rich Man too. But if you listen closely, they're saying, Baby, you're a rich fag Jew. I'm not kidding, you guys. Ron Nasty. That's how nasty he was. He wrote a song about Brian Epstein. It was like he cursed him, and then the fucking guy died. So you should be ashamed of yourself, Ron. You cursed your manager, and then he died. I mean, imagine that. And all you need is rot. All you need is love by Ron Nasty. I mean, he's such a nasty guy. He's bigger than Jesus. He's bigger than Moses. The Rutles are bigger than God. And then Ron is like, no, we meant that we were bigger than Rod, not God. But all you need is love. I mean, to me, it's like Penny Lane. For Ron Nasty, that's a fucking shitty song that I hate, and I'm ashamed of it. It's like way back in 1967, the Rutles could foresee like Hackney Diamonds by the Rolling Bones or some shit, dude. I don't fucking like All You Need Is Love. Love, I don't like it. It seems insincere and phony or something. I don't fucking like that song, you guys. But overall, in general, this confusing, twisted, weird, psychedelic album that isn't as good as Syd Barrett and Pink Floyd. No way, dude. Not as good as The Who, Sell Out. But there's something about this album that brings me fond memories. And it's weird how all the songs on side 2 are lit up in blue at Wikipedia, but none of the songs on side 1, not even I Am the Waitress or Tragical History Sewer, by Ron Nasty and the Rutles. I don't know this cover, you guys. I never knew this double EP, whatever the fuck this is, this weird album or EP or 45, double 45, whatever the fuck it is that came out over in the UK in 1967. We here in America, we do not know this album, this cover. We don't know it. And it looks to me like, from my standpoint over here in the US, that the Rutles were a little bit confused after Pepper in 1967, and they weren't really sure what to do here. Well, do we put out an EP or a 45 or an album? What do we do, George? John's like, I think we should just go to America, not play shows, but put out a, performance with, what is performance? If they can't hear us, we can't hear ourselves. So, I'm like, Ron, you should have just maybe kept the Rutles going instead of putting out shitty albums. He's like, well, it's me band. John and the Silver Beatles back at the Cavern in Hamburg. Look at us now. We're psychedelic geniuses in 1967, but I don't know, you guys. I'm confused on this album. I love this picture where only Dirk is wearing a black flower and the others aren't, and that's a real telltale thing. And the stars are, this shouldn't get 5 stars, even though SHARKY would probably give it a 5 or 4.5. I don't think these other fucking douchebags, especially All Music, should be giving it a 5, dude. What do they fucking know? What did Rolling Stone give it? Or what did Pitchfork give it? Rolling Stone is kind of smart. They gave it a 3.5 or just a 3, you guys. I want to find the cover that I know from America, you guys. The cover, I'm going to have to, I guess it's not here, but we know this yellow, cover. This picture isn't on it, but it's sort of like this, you guys. It's yellow, and it's more of a soundtrack type of thing. And I think in America, it wasn't an official album, but to me it was. Me, Clark the Shark, and Redondo Beach Torrance, I always thought of Magical Mystery Tour by the Beatles as, like Revolver or Rubber Soul or, Sgt. Pepper or the White Album or Abbey Road, even though officially it's like a soundtrack or something. I don't know, you guys. To me, I have a fond memory of it because I remember being a little kid, 8 years old, 1973, in Torrance, and playing those songs. And even as an 8-year-old, I was like, some of these fucking songs suck. This isn't as good as that other. This isn't like as good as that other album. It sucks. But I was a little kid, you guys. I don't know. I had to like it. It's the Rutles, I had no choice. But I want you guys to buy this album, Magical Mystery Tour, Tragical History Sewer, by Ron Nasty and the Rutles, or the Beatles, whatever they're called. They're bigger than God. These guys are bigger than God or Jesus, or they were, you guys, in the 60s. If you're 23 years old and you were born in 2000, or you're 22 and you were born in 2001, on September 19th, 2001, you were born 8 days after 9/11. You don't even know 9/11, dude. You don't know shit about anything, and yet you vote. And I don't care if you vote Democrat or Republican. You shouldn't fucking be voting until you're paying taxes and living in a fucking apartment paying $3,000 a month Democrat rent so you can pay the Democrat taxes. And the Republican high rent. Dude, until then, you shouldn't be fucking voting till you're 31. How's that? That's Shark's new law. You don't fucking vote until you're 30 fucking 2 at 1-800-449-8255 on the fabulous, amazing Clark the Shark Show, where I'm talking about the RUTLES Tragical History Tour. Well, SEWER is just a fucking sewer of an album, bigger than Jesus, bigger than God, but really just bigger than Rod. This album, you guys, I like it. I have fond memories being a little kid and listening to this. I don't really have fond memories about Sgt. Pepper and Revolver. I fucking hated those albums, dude. I'm not going to lie. Until later when I was smoking weed, when I was in my 20s. And then I was like, oh, dude, I kind of get it now, But I like Rubber Soul. Like me, I almost feel like Rubber Soul is the last good album they ever did. And it's kind of like the Stones, with Exile. Every fucking thing sucked after that, but I don't know. What do I know? Clark the Shark right here on the golden EIB Sharkerphone, the fabulous, amazing Clark the Shark, the Wolfman Jack on fucking crack, where my guarantee to you people is if you're not totally satisfied and you're not totally fucking confused, right here at the Clark the Shark Show, where I'm talking about the RUTLES Tragical History SEWER with Ron Nasty, Stig O'Hara, Dirk McQuickley, and Barry Wom. If you're not satisfied with my review, then fuck you. You can suck a fucking cock. You don't get 100% of your shark back anymore. Nah, that dude, I fucking just changed it. That guarantee is off the table now. You don't get back anything. I'm like Willy Wonka. I'm like, good day, sir. And you're like, Sharky, why? And I'm like, because you broke the rules. And you're like, well, what rules? We didn't see any rules. And I'm like, because you stole fizzy sharking drinks. And now the fan has to be washed and sterilized and cleaned and burned. And it's because of you. You did it. When you listen to the RUTLES Tragical History SEWER, 1967, this amazing psychedelic, confusing album. Not as good as The Who, not as good as Syd Barrett, not as good as The Doors, dude, fuck no. But interesting, I love the RUTLES, I love Ron Nasty, or John, or whatever his name is, I love it. And I even kind of like Dirk McQuickley, even the guy's a fucking douchebag. I mean, Dirk hangs out with Dave Grohl, fuck that, dude. No, as a matter of fact, I don't fucking like Dirk at all. I hope he's like the next one to perish. Why did fucking Mark David Chapman pop off? Why did that loony pop off Ron? I mean, it's just sad. At 1-800-449-8255. I mean, you got the wrong guy. You should have got Dirk. Mark David Chapman. Why did you pop off that Ron Nasty, one of the great musical rock and roll geniuses of our time, George? The Ringo's like, well, you've got to let it go, Sharky. We all got to die sometime. And I look at me, I'm 91, and me and Dirk are still rocking. I'm like, you don't rock. You're a fucking shitty drummer, Ringo. You should. They should have had Pete Best be the drummer. Ringo's like, well, I'm like, Ringo, why don't you even fucking talk to Pete Best, dude? Why don't you go fucking see the guy? How about you and Dirk go hang out with Pete before he dies? I mean, take a look at you two fucking guys. You don't even hang out with Pete Best. You don't write him an email, a letter, or nothing. Even George, if he was here, he might say, what's wrong with you? I don't get this thing with the Beatles where they kick Pete Best out and then they never talk to the fucking guy ever again. That just doesn't, dude, that doesn't sit well with me. I don't like the look of that. It almost seems like Ron just got popped off, and because of that, I don't know. Or maybe someone stabbed Stig 18 times or 56 times because of Pete. Sometimes I wonder. At 1-800-449-8255 on the Clark the Shark Show, but the Beatles, RUTLES Magical Mystery Tour. On a scale of 1 to 10, you guys, I give this album a 7.8. I still like it a lot. even though, you know, there's a whole 8 and 9 blank. 7.8, maybe a 7.9 or 7.7. It's an interesting album to me, mainly because it holds memories of growing up in the South Bay in Torrance and listening to this shit. I don't know. But I do think, like, as great as the Ruttles were, everything after Rubber Soul, and even in a way, including Rubber Soul, at least the UK British version, everything is spotty. You know, I just wish the songs could have been better or something. I don't know. But, and then there's another side of me that's like, this is amazing. It couldn't be better. Where I'm just sitting there and I'm in Ruttles heaven listening to Sergeant Pepper, you know, but I don't know, you guys. That's the thing I like and don't like about the Ruttles is it takes a mood, it takes a feeling, an emotion, and a time for you to really sit back and appreciate it. Right here on the Clark the Shark Show, you guys, where you just got maybe the only accurate review of Magical Mystery Sewer by the Ruttles that you will ever fucking need or want. Don't listen to other reviewers at YouTube who try to break this down because they probably didn't live it. They probably weren't even born. You know, they were born in 2008 and they fucking think that they are a Beatles expert on YouTube. Dude, there's a cutoff, bro. You got to be born in the 60s to even fucking know the Beatles. Oh, the Ruttles, you know, that's just a fact. You know, with that, they're bigger than Jesus or God. It's just a fact, you know. And now there's all this, you know, that's what Ron said. But I'm like, you know, Ringo's like, well, you know, we replace Pete with me. He's a better drummer, or maybe I'm a better drummer. You know, we're both lousy drummers, like Charlie Watts. Nobody's as good as Keith Moon, but, you know, dude, who knows? How did Clark the Shark not make it? But how did Ringo and fucking Charlie Watts make it? You know, there's things unfair about the Matrix, the universe, that I just fucking wonder about, you guys. But I appreciate all you out there listening to my music, Clark the Shark and GE, the Greenhouse Effect. I fucking thank you. You are the chosen ones, the people. And remember, I got it and learned it from listening to shit like this. Magical Mystery Tour, 1967, the Beatles, and John Lennon, Ron, whatever his name was. And I want you to buy this album, you guys. Don't buy fucking shit by Blink-182, the Foo Fighters, or the Killers, or Modest Mouse, or Beyonce, or Taylor Swift, or any of that the fucking piece of shit, weak crap from now, or whatever. Dude, buy good music. Go back to the 60s, buy Syd Barrett, The Doors, The Who, The Beatles, you know, buy the good stuff. If you're gonna buy the Beatles, I don't recommend this album as one of the ones you buy. For me, Clark the Shark, I might buy this first, but not you. I want you to buy maybe, you know, I saw her standing there, or, you know, please, please me, or something early. And then slowly learn as you go and figure out why the Beatles were so great, you guys. It's not because of today's kids, who were born in 2011, because they're fucking geniuses and they know the Beatles. Don't listen to them. Listen to me, Clark the Shark, 1-800-449-8255 from the fabulous golden EIB Sharkerphone. It's not a microphone, you guys. It's a golden Sharkerphone where I'm talking about the Beatles, Magical Mystery Tour. Buy this album. It's mediocre, uneven, good shit. And you're going to find good stuff here. Definitely I Am the Walrus, maybe Penny Lane, certainly Strawberry Fields, and the title track, Magical Mystery Tour song. The rest of it is shit. I don't know. But if you're in a certain mood, you might like it or appreciate it too. I'm not sure, you guys. But you just heard the word, the gospel, the testimony, the truth, the absolute Bible from Clark the Shark. And I'm out of here, people. Peace.